listening. I know your name is Fred. Thank you for coming, Fred. Thank you everyone for coming. This is awesome. Have we all seen the Barbie movie?
Yes.
Yeah, this is my crowd. Okay, sometimes people are like, no. I'm like, well, bye. It's so good, right? It's so good. It's like super feminist, right? Have you seen it, Fred? Oh, yes, we love Fred. Okay. It's so feminine. Like, it promotes gender equality, right? Now, I don't know if y'all heard about this little controversy over the casting of Ryan Gosling. Anyone hear about this? Okay, let me tell you. There was some complaints about the casting of Ryan Gosling. Some Gen Zers thought he was too old. At the age of 42, they thought he was too old to play Ken. I was like, oh my God, a man was criticized for being too old to play a role. This movie is doing so much for gender equality, right? Oh my God. Thank you. That was a moderate, I think that based on what Rosalie told you to do, I felt like that was only moderately funny. Thanks. No, but seriously, like, what's going to happen next? Is Ryan Gosling going to be invisible because he's middle-aged? No, that will not happen. So, my name is Alice. Fred, you probably don't know that. My name's Alice. And my pronouns are she, her. And I love that we're all sharing our pronouns now. I do. I think it's great. I think it's great that we're all becoming more aware of the gender spectrum, right? It's also great that we're now becoming more aware of grammar. Like, finally, people are learning what a pronoun is. Ugh. This is the moment I have been waiting for. It's like double social justice. I think we can use this. I think we use grammar a lot more in our culture. Like, we could start sharing, like with dating, okay? We could start sharing our verbs. My name is Alice, my pronouns are she, her, and my verb is consenting. You see, now you know I just shared my verb, now you know I'm consenting. We could throw an adverb in there too. I could say I'm enthusiastically consenting. Whew, okay. But my preferred noun is not whore, because my preferred adjective is sex positive. You see, we just using grammar to get more woke, right? Who knew that in 2023, the thing that would be dividing us would be, okay, not that thing, we're not going to talk about that. Don't worry about that. The other thing that would be dividing us would be grammar, right? Like, people get so upset about having to learn people's pronouns, right? People just get so, oh, I don't want to learn pronouns. Like, it's just, well, but I think I get it. I actually think I understand. Some people don't like things that they can't understand, right? Like, they don't like immigrants because they don't understand the language they're speaking, or they don't like gay people because they don't understand gay sex, whatever that is. They don't like to learn people's pronouns because they don't know what a pronoun is. You know, it's just, if we just learn grammar, we could solve the world's problems, right? I can't help it. Like, I'm like human Grammarly. I can't help it. I'm such a grammar nerd. I went to this fancy East Coast liberal arts college, and then I used my prestigious degree to do stand-up. Which is good. Thank you. No one else did that at my school. No one. Just me. Everyone else went and, like, they got, like, a JD or an MD or a PhD or something else fancy with a D at the end. I did not get those. I got an STD. But it was HPV, so it's fine. We all have it, right? Like, right? Don't we all have it, right? And if you don't have it, you do. You just don't know it. We all have it. Unless you're young. Anyone here young enough to have the HPV vaccine? No. Everyone's like my age or older, I feel like. No one has. Okay, so do you know that kids today get the HPV vaccine? Yeah. I know, right? Where was that when I was a kid? You know what else they get? The chickenpox vaccine. Yeah. There's an HPV vaccine. That is so not fair. Not against it, okay? I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not anti-vax. Like, I'll never know what it's like to get polio, and I'm good with that, but it's just that kids today, they're never gonna know what it's like to take an oatmeal bath, do they even know what oatmeal's for, right? Like overnight oats? No, it's to bathe in when you get chicken pox, and they'll never get to experience that. Okay, we actually did kind of have a chicken pox vaccine when I was a kid. Anyone else who grew up in the 80s will know about this one. It's called the first sibling to get chicken pox gives it to the other sibling, right? Anyone else do this? Yeah, you know what's up. Yeah, 80s folks over here. Totally, I was the one. You're welcome. I was the one who got it first, so my mom just locked me in a room with my sister and said, breathe on her until she starts to itch. And that's how we did it, That's how you did it in the 80s. And then my neighbor, there was a kid who lived next door who also hadn't had the chicken pox yet. So my mom called the neighbor and was like, Alice has the chicken pox, we can hook you up. Do you want to bring her? So then I also vaccinated the neighbor. So I'm a healthcare worker. So welcome. And kids today will never know what that's like. They will not understand that. God, I miss the good old days, don't you? And by the good old days, I mean the year 2020. Anyone else miss that? I know, right? I mean, not all of it. There were some bad parts, people getting sick and dying. That wasn't good, but I mean, there were some good parts, Tiger King, and not having to wear pants, and not having to see people in person, things that I miss. You all are great, but just things that I miss. I tell you one challenge though I had back in 2020. One thing that was very difficult for me. Okay, we had this roommate, and he was just always there. And I was like, why are you still here? Why can't you go somewhere? And he's like, no, we're quarantining together. I have to stay here. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, so let me clarify. When I say we, I mean me and my dog. And what I call roommate, you may call husband. And it's nothing against him. He's great. He's wonderful. But it's just, I didn't. When we exchanged our wedding vows, it was, in sickness and health, but not quarantining together in a one-bedroom apartment during a global pandemic. We weren't prepared for that. It just wasn't, I didn't know that was part of it. I didn't read the fine print. Wasn't ready, but nothing against him. He's, like I said, he is wonderful, okay? In fact, all during 2020, I was working all day on Zoom, and he was working not at all. So at the end of my long work day, he would say to me, I'm gonna make us dinner. And I was like, do we have to do everything together? Really? Come on. He's a bit of a drama queen. I'm not gonna lie. Not a bit. Very much a drama queen. So back in 2020, when we were quarantining together, he thought he had COVID. And he was like, oh my God, I think I have it. I have COVID. I was like, oh my gosh, well, what are your symptoms? He's like, I'm tired. And I was like, well, what else? He's like, that's it, but I feel it. I can just feel it. I'm fatigued. I think I have it. And I'm like, I think you're just tired. I think it's okay. But, if you're so worried, you can get tested. You don't have to be dramatic. Just get tested, So he went to, because you had to go to a place that, so he went to Dodger Stadium. He got tested, and he had COVID. Yeah. So we learned something very important that day. It was listen to your husband, folks. I'm just kidding. That wasn't the lesson. Oh my God, listen to your husband. No. The lesson learned was don't be a drama queen when you want your spouse to believe you when you get COVID. That's what we learned. And when he tested positive, we were both like, oh my God. Thank God, because one of us has to leave the apartment for 14 days. We need... I need a break. It's fine. We're fine now. He's fine. By the way, he's okay. Like, he didn't die or anything. Like, he's good. Yeah, thank you. One person, the rest of you are like, is it okay? No, it's fine. So I recently started talking to my ex-boyfriend, but it's fine. Like, I moved on. I moved on. Like, I'm married now. You know, I moved on. It's fine. It's, you know, I'm married. He's married. I'm married. He has a kid. I have a dog. You know, he has like a big corporate job. I do stand up. But clearly, I've moved on. Okay, and so we're chatting online, and like, it's cool. My husband wasn't even jealous, so it's fine. Actually, it's not fine. Why wasn't he jealous? Like, whatever. Okay, so anyways, we're chatting, and I find out that my ex-boyfriend has been cyber stalking me on YouTube, watching me do stand-up about cyber stalking him. I know, that was confusing. Let me okay, he was cyber stalking me, joking about cyber stalking him, but he watched my stand-up, so I win the breakup. I'm the breakup champion. Yep. And then after we finished chatting, I turned to my husband and I said, "Why aren't you jealous? I'm YouTube famous." So obviously I'm married, and I did not change my name when I got married. Here's why. Okay, first of all, the patriarchy, right? Right? You know what's up. Second of all, my name is Alice Cutler. It makes sense. The name matches the face. Very Mayflower white. And my husband's Italian. And I'm just not an Italian housewife. Right? Like, if I change my name, I'd have to change my whole identity, and I just can't do that. I would have to like get acrylic nails and cover my furniture in plastic. Start wearing stilettos to Trader Joe's. That's not who I am. Like, I'm not an Italian housewife. Like, I speak with an inside voice. You know, I eat one-course meals. I wear sunscreen. You know, I'm not. This is not the face of an Italian housewife. This is the face of maybe someone who studied abroad in Florence for a semester. You know, that's more my vibe. So not Italian. I did do something that's popular with white people on Black Friday, and I got 23andMe. Yeah. I know I'm white. Like, I know that part. I want to know how many kinds of white I am. Don't worry, I have the white guilt, okay? I just need it to be more specific. And I found out, folks, I am part German. So, extra white guilt. But also, I'm a quarter Jewish. So do they kind of balance each other out? I don't know. Like, I'm working on that one internally. So I am 25% Jewish, which means I get to celebrate Hanukkah for 2 nights. My menorah only has 2 candles in it. Okay, I don't have a menorah. I just have 2 candlesticks, but for me, that's a menorah, all right? I am 25% Jewish, but 100% Jewish when it's convenient. Like, if you want a ride to the airport during rush hour on a Friday evening, I'm not going to do that. It's Shabbat. Has anyone else done 23andMe for their dogs? No? No one's done it for them? Because the only thing more white than doing it is for your dog. I did it, obviously. Okay, you're dying to know. I know, you're just dying to know. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Okay. So he's 61.5% pit, 13.5% boxer, 13.5% border collie, and then 13.5% other. Thanks, science. I'm just disappointed that he wasn't part German Shepherd. Thought we had more in common. No. So I recently became a homeowner. okay? Don't clap too hard, okay? Not in LA. What am I, rich? No, I bought a house in a little mountain town called Idlewild. And yay, I know, it's adorable. I still live here. I rent my apartment here because I can't afford to buy here. So I bought a house in the mountains, but I can't make a living there. So I Airbnb my place to pay the mortgage. You know, just living the American dream. Constantly in debt. The fun part about owning an Airbnb is seeing what people leave behind in your house. People get wild in our house with salad dressing. Like 9 bottles of it. Most of them ranch because white people love the mountains. Also cocaine. We found a bag of cocaine in our house because nothing says relaxing in the mountains like cocaine. What happened there? Why did this happen? Were they just heading to Vegas and they took a wrong turn, ended up at our house, and they're like, well, this cocaine won't do itself. And then what do they do? Just aggressively swing in our hammock? Spend the rest of the night staring at the trees while grinding their teeth? I don't understand. Look, if you want to do cocaine, fine. You do you. I won't judge you. Maybe a little bit. But I will judge you for picking the wrong venue, okay? I recommend shrooms the next time. It's also fun when people don't sign out of their streaming services. Okay, so Art did not sign out of Netflix. So I went into Art's account to see what Art has been watching, and Art has watched every single true crime docuseries on Netflix, which means that Art is either a serial killer or a middle-aged woman. I'm not sure. But I like to go into Art's account and just binge romantic comedies just to throw off the algorithm. So then Netflix will be like, Art, based on your watch history, we recommend the Sex and the City movie. Then there was Robert. Robert did not sign out of Hulu. And not just any Hulu, the expensive kind, with no ads. I know, right? So of course, every time I go up there, I just have to watch Hulu. So somewhere in Rancho Cucamonga, Robert's like, when did I watch every season of Only Murders in the Building? Yeah. Owning an Airbnb, I've discovered there are 2 types of people in the world. People who read the binder and people who stay at my house. Like basically people who function in society and the people who just live in chaos, all right? I know, you're probably like, what's the big deal? It's just a binder. It's a big deal, okay? Do you know what happens when you don't read this is what happens when people don't read the binder. They don't know how to use the grill. They just go rogue with the grill. Like, what is this? Also, they don't know all the hikes I personally recommended. And not my fault if your dog gets bit by a rattlesnake, because that was on page 1, section C of the binder. Page 1. What is this anarchy? Come on. This has been especially disturbing for me because I have discovered that I married a non-binder reader. I know. Look, it's fine. Like if you're a non-binder reader, folks, just, it's okay. I'm not gonna judge you. You just need to reevaluate your life, okay? I'm just saying. I'm realizing now it makes so much sense that I'm part German. Like, I should have known. Signs were there. So now that I live part-time in the mountains, I did what every mountain dweller does. No one knows this, bought a Subaru. Yeah, thank you. So when I went to buy the Subaru, I went to the dealership. I had a budget I was working with, right? So I went to the dealer and said, this is my budget. And you know what he said to me? He goes, we don't have anything that budget. You're not gonna find anything here. So I went across the street to another dealership. I found a Subaru that I liked in my budget and I bought it. And I want to have my pretty woman moment. We all remember that pretty woman moment, right? Where they won't serve her in Rodeo Drive. I want to have that moment for me. So I will go back in, I will be dressed up like Julia Roberts. I mean, it's a Subaru dealership, so I'll wear like a flannel and hiking boots, and I'll bring in my rescue dog, the pit boxer border collie mix. And I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna go to them like, excuse me, I was in here the other day, and you wouldn't sell me a Subaru. You work on commission, right? Big mistake. Big, huge. Well, I'm gonna go camping, and then I'm gonna storm out of there. I'm gonna get in my Subaru, I'm gonna crank the Indigo Girls and peel out of there. That'll show him. So I entered a new age bracket recently. Yeah, that's the response. Everyone's like, we know she's old enough that we don't clap for this anymore. Enter new age bracket. I won't tell you the age bracket because I think it's illegal for women to say their age in Los Angeles. But what I will tell you is that it is the age bracket where you get a colonoscopy. Oh, I know. Sorry. I apologize if anyone's still eating, but I should have given you a warning first. The age bracket where you get, and by the way, not 50, okay? It's nothing wrong with being 50, but it's not 50. It used to be 50. That used to be the colonoscopy age. Perfect timing with the food. We're talking about colonoscopies. That's okay. No, I'm sorry that you know. Sorry. Okay, so it used to be 50, but they dropped the colonoscopy age to 45. Conveniently, the year I turned 45. Gosh, I just made two mistakes as a woman. I admitted my age and that I have a colon, so. Secret's out, we have colons. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm kind of looking forward to getting a colonoscopy because I love anesthesia. He does too. It's great, isn't it? You know, some people don't. You know, the people who are weird about that. You know, those people. Like, you know, no drugs for me. You know, those, no, I want to be all natural. No drugs for me. I want to be awake for the procedure. Why? Like, don't we have to be alert for enough already? Why this? But it actually makes sense. Only in LA would someone be like, I want to be alert from when the camera is on me. Or in me, in this case. So as it turns out, I actually don't even have to get a colonoscopy because I have Kaiser. And anyone else have Kaiser? Yeah. So you know about Kaiser, you know their motto, right? It's Kaiser, we do less. And by less, they mean cancer screening, you do it yourself. They just send you it's a little DIY situation. I won't say anymore. There's food there. Then I went to get a mammogram. Came back with the tetanus shot. Because, you know, Kaiser. I just figured being a woman in her 40s, I should be concerned about breast cancer. They thought I should be so much more concerned about tetanus. Because clearly this is what a construction worker looks like. Thanks to the Barbie movie, right? Gender equality. So, I mean, I got the shot, of course. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. So now I'm microchipped. Bill Gates has his eye on me. I'm also at the age, we're just going down my middle-age journey right now. This is that portion of the show. We're just going middle-age journey. I'm also at the age where I wear reading glasses, but I also wear contacts. So I am both nearsighted and farsighted. Or as I like to say, I am bi-visual. My husband wears reading glasses too, so now we've become that old couple who shares reading glasses. Ugh, gross. Right? Like, what's next? We're gonna get matching tracksuits? Move to Florida? No, never. But his prescription's actually stronger than mine because he's older than me. Oh wait, he's a guy. I don't have to whisper that. He's older than me. So, but like I don't want to get reading glasses too. So I'm just waiting to age my way into his prescription. Eventually we'll get there. It's like, it's like our foreplay, right? Like, it's a middle-aged foreplay. Like, I'll be squinting at something and he just takes his glasses off and hands them to me. I'm like, aw, they say romance is dead after marriage. I mean, I did try to spice it up more. Like, I sent him a sexy text, but then he just stares at his phone and is like, I can't read what this says. You have my glasses, so. And then I tell him, and he's like, what? I'm like, forget it. So I'm okay, like I have no problem admitting I'm middle-aged. A lot of women, they won't admit it, they won't say, I'm okay with embracing my middle age, like I will wear the reading glasses, I will watch the true crime docuseries, but I will tell you what I will not do as a middle-aged woman. I will not get a Live, Laugh, Love pillow. Thank you. Wow, okay. We like, okay, noted. No, it's not that I don't want to live, laugh, love, okay? Like, I'm not against it. Of course, everyone says live, laugh, love, but I just, I don't need a reminder on a pillow. I'm not that old yet. Unless they also drop dementia to 45, in which case, I need it. So this has been quite a year for me. Okay, here's the crazy part. I was pregnant this year, which I know is a shock because I also just said I'm old enough to wear reading glasses, but it can happen. They say women can't get knocked up over 40, but it happened to me, I did it. I mean, not with my own eggs, of course. Like, that would have been crazy. No, seriously, that's nuts. I got knocked up by science. Thank you. Science, yay, science. I did try with my own eggs. I did several rounds of IVF and it didn't work. And so finally I was like, you know what, that's it. My eggs are retired, both of them. And I said to my husband, we should just outsource some nice young fresh eggs. And he said, oh, can we outsource sperm too? Because I'm sick of jerking off in a cup. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. Like, why go a la carte? We can just get the whole package. And that's what we did. We got we found a couple who had a leftover embryo. We took the leftover embryo that they weren't using. And look, I'm not going to say we're saints or anything, but we didn't even breed. We used rescues. Or as I like to say, who rescued who? Actually, I don't like to say that because it's not grammatically correct. It should be who rescued whom, okay? People with the bumper stickers. Okay, back to the embryo. So we took the rescue embryo, thank you, and we put it inside of me, and that is how I got pregnant. I'm sorry, I think the correct term is geriatric pregnant. Like I said, we did do IVF first, and we tried for years, and it wasn't working. I wasn't getting pregnant, so we went to the doctor, and it turns out I have a condition, and it's called DOR, and that stands for diminished ovarian reserve, and that's due to another condition I had called OAF, and that stands for old as fuck. So, on the bright side, though, I won't be a handmaid. I feel like that joke is getting a little too real right now. But have we seen that show on Hulu? Have we seen it? If you haven't, you should watch. It's a really powerful docu-series. I watched it, of course, on Hulu because thanks to Robert. So, do you all ever know those couples? Like, we all know that couple who likes to tell you about how their child was conceived, like where their child was conceived. It's like, ew, gross. I don't want to know. But here's the thing. It's not true, okay? It's not true. I'll tell you why. It takes 72 hours to conceive. Did you know that? No one knows. How do you think Plan B works? 72 hours to conceive, okay? 72 hours. You have 72 hours. Don't push it. Like, don't wait till this. But I'm just saying, that's how Plan B works. 72 hours. So when these people are like, oh my God, we conceived our child on that beautiful night of lovemaking. Nope, not true. All right, it happened 72 hours later when they were like, I don't know, at the DMV or something. Like, At least I am a responsible parent. I can say I know where my child was conceived. It was in a lab on Ridgegate Circle in Lone Tree, Colorado. And I wasn't even there. It was great. And then someday, if my daughter were to fail science, I would say to her, how dare you disrespect your ancestors? You were conceived in a lab. That was a science show. I do know this couple who named their child Sequoia after where Sequoia was conceived. That's what they think. 72 hours. I thought about when we were coming up with names for our daughter, I thought, I was trying to think of names. I was like, we could go with Tori, short for laboratory. Or, since my husband's Italian, something that sounds a bit more Italian, like in vitro. Or just Ivy. Right? That's the winner, right? That's the winner. So, okay, here's the sad news. We lost little Ivy at 19 weeks. She had a rare genetic disorder, and it's been really sad. It's been a really rough several months for us, and it's just devastating. And, I just spent a lot of time sitting on the couch crying, and it's hard. It's hard. Grief is hard. And, finally one day I said, how long do I have to mourn this before I can start writing jokes about it? And is now too soon? Hopefully not. Because that's, there are the stages of grief. I have one stage, and it is to be on stage telling jokes. That's my stage. Thank you. Because, if you can't get good material out of it, what was all the suffering for, right? And don't say something like it builds character. I have enough character. I don't need to build character. I need to build a 1-hour special. Because I wasn't just mourning the loss of a child. I was mourning the loss of some really good material. So I'll tell you one of the most traumatizing parts of this whole experience was, when I had to have my procedure done, I went into the doctor, they brought me into the nurse's room, and there on the nurse's wall was a sign that said, positive vibes only. I was like, is this Kaiser's new motto? Because I'd rather they just do less than this. I would rather the sign say live, laugh, love over positive vibes only, okay? Then I had to fire my therapist. She kept telling me to manifest and do more cardio to feel better. Ew, right? But to be fair, we live in LA, so that's to be expected. But then she asked me 6 weeks after I lost my daughter, you know what she asked me? She said, so do you feel better now? Now, I know. Now, I couldn't see her because I do telehealth because I have Kaiser. But I'm pretty sure she was wearing a shirt that said positive vibes only. So I fired her. And you know what? Now I do feel better. That's what I needed. Thank you. Thank you. So needless to say, it's been a rough year for me. But I do want to take a moment to thank Zoloft for getting me through this difficult time. I sense we have some other SSRI users in the crowd. Awesome. Love it. I feel like this is a drug commercial. This is the part. Tonight's been sponsored by Zoloft. Just kidding. No, it's Pfizer. No, it's great. And y'all, okay, I don't want to brag or anything, but I was taking Zoloft back in the 90s before it was cool. I was breaking the glass ceiling of mental health. You're welcome. You could say I'm a bit of a trendsetter amongst drug users. But no, so Zoloft has been great, but it wasn't quite enough. So then I had to double my dose of Zoloft, and then it still wasn't enough. So then I turned to a substance I'm not proud of. I turned to self-help books. I know. And then self-help podcasts, and then I hit a really rough patch, and then I turned to TikTok life coaches. And I know. And then this wasn't. Thank you. Wasn't But I did learn one thing from all the self-help, okay? I learned to help myself. 2 more Zoloft. Thank you. So obviously I do not have any living children, but it's very different raising kids today. And I'm guessing from what I heard before, there are very few parents in the crowd. Very few. Okay, so it's different raising kids today. It really is. Like we're all so politically correct now, which I think is great, but it's just, like, I read this article about how we're not supposed to tell girls they're pretty because it's not empowering. And I thought, yes, because I was expecting a daughter. I was like, yes, that's right. I'm not going to tell her she's pretty. Good, but then I'm like, I'm just nervous around girls. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I was recently visiting my niece, and she was wearing this dress, and it was like pink and poofy, and and I was like, oh my God, look at you in the dress. You're so capable. Like, and then I was like, oh my God, when you sped around in that tutu-y skirt, you look like you have great leadership skills. And the bows in your hair, oh my God, who is the astrophysicist with the bows in her hair? Like, I'm just really worried I'm going to slip and, tell a girl she's pretty, then she'll lose all sense of self-worth, drop out of high school. So if you want to empower a girl, do not tell her she's pretty. Tell her she's prettier than all of her friends. So no one told me, and I got HPV, so here we are. Yeah. So are we happy the SAG strike is over? It's over. Yes, I'm so excited, and as a SAG actor, I'm really excited to go back to, still not working. I'm excited, yay, but also I'm like, does it really make a difference for me? The only difference between me before the strike and during the strike is that I just had an excuse for not working. Now I'm like, ooh, now I don't have a good excuse for not booking anything. It's okay. We're all not booking. So I am an actor. I used to be a thespian. You can sort of move that. I don't know. I used to have hopes and dreams of being the next Meryl Streep. And now I just have hopes and dreams of being the next Flo from Progressive, okay? I have got bills to pay. And you know what's not going to pay the bills? Working on my craft. But you know what will pay the bills? A hemorrhoid ad. Or in my case, a Cologuard ad, right? Because it's the colonoscopy DIY. Okay. Do you all remember that commercial for Pepto-Bismol? Where it was like a line of people? Remember that? And they did like the whole dance, like the song and dance, like nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. I thought people would sing, you're the only one singing along. It was a sing-along moment, folks. You film it now. So I'm watching that commercial, and there's this woman at the end, and she does the whole diarrhea. So I'm watching her, I'm like, oh my God, she is the diarrhea woman. Why couldn't I be the diarrhea woman? Like, I didn't even get an audition for that. I called my agent. I was like, you couldn't even get me an audition to be the diarrhea woman? Like, do I not look like her? Do I not look like I could be the diarrhea woman? And you know what? You may call her the diarrhea woman, but you know what I call her? Rich. She has all of her student loans to drama school paid off with that one ad, all right? And it is hard enough. I got to compete with all the other actors out in LA. Now I'm competing with animals, too. Like, I could have killed that Affleck spot. Killed it. They gave it to a duck. Who does that duck know? Like, that was a Nepo hire for sure. That's probably like a Baldwin duck or something. You know who doesn't have to Airbnb his home to pay the mortgage? The Geico Gecko. He doesn't even have a mortgage. He just paid for his house. So I have this condition. It's very common with actors, or just people who live in LA. It's called IMDb ADD. Anyone else have this? Yeah, it's, if you're not familiar with it, let me tell you, it's when you cannot watch a movie without consulting IMDb at least a few times. And yeah, you know what's up. It's a problem. I was recently watching the movie $1 Million Baby. Yes, I know, it came out back in 2005. I know that because I IMDb'd it. everything else to watch on Netflix, and I wasn't at the house, so I couldn't watch Hulu. So I was So I'm watching it, and oh my God, if you haven't seen it, have we seen this movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's great. Like Hilary Swank plays this boxer, and she gets knocked out and paralyzed from the neck down, and it was so hard to watch because she's like a boxer and she's paralyzed, and I couldn't figure out everything I'd seen her in. So then I went and I checked IMDb, and I was like, oh my God, that's it. She was the next Karate Kid. Remember? With Pat Morita, who played Mr. Miyagi, who was in the original Karate Kid, with Elizabeth Shue, who was in Battle of the Sexes in 2017, with Steve Carell, who was in 40-Year-Old Version in 2004, with Seth Rogen, who was in This Is the End in 2013, with Jay Baruchel, who was in $1 Million Baby. Oh my God. And then once I connected all those dots, I was like, whew, all right, now it makes sense. I can finish the movie. But, I forgot to hit pause, and it finished, and I didn't feel like rewinding it. So, no spoilers. Don't tell me what happens. It works out for her, right? Is she okay? She's okay, right? She's good. It's a Clint Eastwood movie. What's going to go wrong? So back to pronouns. Remember we were talking about that? Grammar, my favorite topic. Now that we've figured out what pronouns are, I would really like for us to work on learning what the word irony means. Okay. And just so we're clear about it, I know it's confusing. Irony is when the literal meaning of something is the opposite of the figurative meaning. Okay? But people get it wrong all the time. I used to work at this bar called Library Bar. And one night, this woman came up to me and she goes, oh my God, we're at the library bar and my boyfriend's a librarian. That's so ironic. I'm like, no, it's not. It's coincidence. Irony would be the girlfriend of a librarian not knowing what the word irony means. She was irony. Isn't that ironic, folks? I blame this entirely on Alanis Morissette, because it's been a problem ever since she wrote that song, Isn't It Ironic, back in 1995, about all these things not ironic at all. You know the song, right? It's like rain on your wedding day. Isn't it ironic? No, that sucks. It's not irony. It just really sucks. Like some good advice you just didn't take. Isn't it ironic? No, you were just stupid. You didn't take the advice. Like there's no irony there. My favorite one is, it's like a black fly in your Chardonnay. Isn't it ironic? No, that's not. How is a black fly the opposite of a glass of white wine? I don't get that. She should just call this song That's Fucked Up, because that's really what all the lyrics are, right? Listen, you all have been fabulous. Thank you so much.